So before we go ahead and talk about the importance of tomorrow, I want to quickly highlight some other important stuff that happened for the budget that apparently passed now. You have a 90 million for breastfeeding. You have breastfeeding. You have 10 million it goes to gender program in Pakistan. We have, so a little bit on the breakdown. You have domestic funding. You have Kennedy Center, 26 million. Smithsonian, I think that's $1 billion. Nantney Art Gallery, 154 million. The Art and Humanities, 167 million. Willis Center, 14 million. Foreign countries, Egypt, 1.3 billion. 700 million Sudan. Ukraine, 453. Israel, 500 million. Nepal, 130 million. Burma, 135 million. Okay, so basically, these are the foreign countries that are getting money for the Canadian aid stimulus package, while the American are getting $600. So, I mean, if you think about that, you can see where the priorities are. So the people who voted against that COVID relief bill, notice the name COVID relief bill, as in it's for the American people, would be the following people from Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, Wisconsin, Utah, and Texas. And while everybody else, 92 people voted for that. So you can imagine the priorities, and you can imagine what the establishment really wants here. It's important to see who's on the head of all these corporations. Here's a kind of a breakdown of all the other people who are getting the money. You can look at them per page. It's a good read. So anyways, the 900 bill COVID relief has passed Congress and sent to the president. So truly hope he vetoes that. I mean, if he doesn't veto that, it seems to me that there's some payoffs happening here. Anyways, one last thing, quick thing. If any of your friends tell you they want to know where the evidence is, this is a good website to go to. And the link is also in the description. It kind of highlights, it details every one of these votes, every one of these F words. And you can go through it and you can show them if they're interested in reading it. I doubt very much they're interested in reading facts, but if they are, the link and description is below. So let's talk about December 23rd, which is the next critical date of the election. That's tomorrow. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about here, we have to look at Title 3, Section 6, either 5 or 6, I'm not sure, they're small sections. So December 23rd discusses the Vice President's role as the recipient of the state electoral states. So here's what I think is going to happen, and that really depends on how Mike Pence wants to play it, if he is loyal, if he cares about the country, but here's his role. So that Wednesday on the 23rd, he can go ahead and send a message to the secretaries of state of those 6 contested states and tell them that they need to submit a non-fraudulent state of electors from those 6 states. Now, he can do this because, he sits presiding officer of the authority, and he has authority to do so. So here's how it's going to play out, right? And the Vice President sends that message to the Secretary of State of, let's say, Georgia, Wisconsin, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and potentially New Mexico. I mean, it really depends on how this plays out in the courts in the next few days, but if he sends that to those states, then it says to them, basically send us the non-fraudulent states of electors, and so the states will have basically the following options, right? They can file a lawsuit against the Vice President and claim that the analysis he has is incorrect. And if there's an issue with that, the burden of proof is actually shifted over to the Biden campaign and those 6 states to take it to court. So here's the 3 options they have. So option 1, they take it to district court and then Court of Appeals and then to the Supreme Court, and they have basically 2 weeks to determine essentially how this is going to play out. And they'll let us know if basically if his analysis is accurate and if the president has authority under Title 3 as well as the U.S. Constitution to do so. I think good luck with that, because as it seems clear, the Supreme Court is too cowardly to take that up. So the chances are they might just go ahead and say, pass. And in this case, it becomes, we'll talk about that, but it basically goes back to a political decision there. Option 2 is to redo the election in a way that it's not a fraudulent election. Good luck with that. And I mean, obviously, since that time, certification occurred on I think December 14th, and there's been a lot of information since December 14th. I mean, specifically, if you look at the Navarro roll-up information that he has, it's I'll link it in the description if you're interested in reading it, but it kind of highlights all the problems in any of these states. Option 3, they can submit a legitimate state of electors, which basically we have copies of them. We have, not copies as in you have the GOP send them and then the DNC send their own. So they can basically end up picking which electoral college basically to count. That's really it. Now what he also can do, which is what Nancy Pelosi did during the State of Union, and since he set a precedent to that, Vice President can basically, as the presiding officer, can go ahead and tear up those fraudulent states of electorals of those 6 states and rip them up and not include them in the count. Now, under his authority as the presiding officer of the joint session before Congress, under the 12th Amendment, Title 3, under I think the Electoral College Act, he can actually do that. Now, about Pence, we will see if he will do that. I mean, obviously, it'll be a very important moment or legacy moment for the vice president. For sure, it will be quite significant for his career. Whether he's going to do it or not, I think he would. He is maybe one of the very few loyal people to the president. I also think he does love his country a lot. And you have to understand, if he I don't see his career moving forward if he doesn't do that. I can't imagine he will get much love from, I guess, the MAGA people or anyone who would trust him after that point, especially if you think about re-election. I think he would do that. I hope he does. We can definitely give him as much support as we can. We have to make sure we're all showing up on January 6th. And we'll see. I mean, if the Supreme Court, like I said, of the United States doesn't respond in 2 weeks or doesn't give a hearing or votes, let's say, unfavorably to the vice president, then basically the other side will have no remedy, and again, it becomes a political decision, and well, the result is another 4 more years. So I expect the chaos to start tomorrow, so get ready for that, and we'll see what goes on. Don't forget to subscribe on Parler and Rumble, and the best way to kind of keep track of where I'm posting stuff, depending where they are, is follow me on Parler and on Rumble.